tackles are doing, and we know it all runs based on how they play. So when I turned on the film and saw Jacob Slade do some destructive things and really get some knockback at times and was completely reliable, I was really impressed and excited for him.
What about Jacob Panasiuk too? When you've got guys like Kenny and the guys in the interior, the different segment, how much better can this defense be when he's a factor on the other side?
We've said this all offseason, we need the other guys to take advantage of the fact that Kenny's going to be an area of focus for everybody. And Jacob caused 2 fumbles and strip sack was one of those, and he really did a good job of pressuring the quarterback, and Beasley did a good job too. As we move forward, that's going to be a key to our success.
I know that you've done a lot of special teams. How much does that Ryan Armour injury change the dynamic for that unit?
Well, I'm sick for Ryan, obviously. I mean, that's a guy we've relied on for a while. We did recruit Jude Pedroso with the thoughts that he's good enough to come in and play right now and put him in a position where he was competing with Ryan. He's that good, so we have full confidence in him. And certainly I'm not going to act like I wasn't a little bit nervous when he goes in there for his first snap as a true freshman, but it was a fantastic snap, and he has confidence.
I know you're always, as a coach, you're always finding coachable moments and things that need to be improved on, but for that opener, could it have gone much better for the defense than it did?
You can't find coachable moments, right? So here's the big coachable moment. End of the first half, 3rd down stop, we get a late hit on the quarterback, give them an extra set of downs, and have 2 more pass interference on top of that. So penalties in the same drive results in points. But the big thing about that was the last drive of the first half. They get the ball back at the beginning of the second half. Offenses call that opportunity to double dip. It could all of a sudden go from a 25-0 game to a 25-14 game, and we're reeling. So we gave them, because of a stupid play, we gave them an opportunity to double dip there and really make it a new game.
Was Josh in those 2 coverages? I mean, is that kind of what you want him to be in terms of aggressive, or did he get a little over aggressive maybe?
No, you know what? He really recovered and got in position to make plays on the ball. He needs to, on the second one, be able to get his eyes back so he can make a play on the ball. The first one was completely underthrown and inside, and it was a little bit of an awkward situation. And sometimes, they throw him up enough, they might make some plays. But again, coachable moments, we need to play the deep ball better.
Does it help that those coachable moments involve 5th-year seniors, especially a guy like Kenny, who's being the National Defensive Player of the Week, and you can sit there and film and say, this guy messed up, and he's obviously one of your best players?
No doubt about it. And Coach D'Antonio can go in front of the whole team and talk about how that, against a different opponent, could be the difference between winning and losing. And you don't feel bad calling a guy out when he obviously had the other big plays that were difference makers in the game. You could call him out and still feel like he'll be able to handle that.
Having played Western, played as quarterback, played running back, is there a benefit to that? How much are they different maybe in the last 2 years?
There's some differences. The guys are able to turn on the film, and a lot of our guys see themselves play. We turn on the film and see Joe in the middle and see Raekwon and Mike on the inside and David Dowell out there. And so they can turn on the film and see themselves against the same quarterback, the same tailback. So that's nice, but we feel like we're a lot better than we were 2 years ago, and I know they're a lot better than they were 2 years ago. So it's another ball game. And these guys are a completely different challenge than Tulsa was, without a doubt.
You talked about Jude. Is there also a new backup long snapper just in case, or are you looking for one?
You know what? We always make sure we have a handful of long snappers, but they're not all guys that do that for a living.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of guys that are working it, but Jude's the only other one we have that does it for a living.
I think Gissinger's long snapper.
Gissinger's a long snapper. Yep. Gissinger's one of those guys. He's probably getting the most rep with the 2s right now.
Mike, when you look at your team's week 0 and early before you played, a lot of mental mistakes in the first week. Were you a little bit surprised with how on your defense was, honestly?
We talked about that the whole time, about having to be smart against fastballs, making sure we communicate. We watched our opening game against Utah State when we did have some mental errors and did have some substitution errors. And I think the guys took it to heart that, man, that was us making those mistakes last year. You talk about another team, random other team on TV making those mistakes. Sometimes you don't take that to heart, but we watched ourselves do it a year ago, and I was really impressed how they locked in.
Mike, were you more impressed with the Tulsa game in the moment, or once you got to look at it after? Whenever you were happiest with what your defense did, was it live, or once you really got to have the clicker in your hand and all that?
Probably, actually, when I put the clicker in my hand. You know, I didn't realize, one of our big goals was pressure on the quarterback, and I knew we got after him a little bit, but when you watch the film, I started to realize how consistent that pressure was. I started to notice some of the other guys like Jacob Panashuk or Antoine as a new starter or things like that, how well they played. So when you see that, it's not just the Kennys and Joes and Josiah Scotts of the world, it's the other guys as well. That impressed me.
What did you see from Shakur Brown besides the sacks? How did he look when he was out there playing pass defense?
You know, all spring ball and all fall camp, Shakur showed he can make plays on the ball. And then he's sort of a recluse when he's blitzing, which is a good thing when you're blitzing. And that's something he had to learn, how to be a little bit reckless and crazy when he's blitzing, but be locked in and under control when he's man coverage. So I was happy about that. He had some penalties on special teams, which are a major issue. Special teams penalties aren't just 10-yard penalties. Sometimes they're 50-yard penalties. But that experience and his ability to make plays on the ball will be big for him in the long run and big for us.
Did you think those penalties were behind him from last year? Because he had a couple of those. And
I was hoping so. I put my arm around him after the game and say, you